Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Here.
Councilmember Secor Ludwig is absent. Council Vice President Anderson.
Here.
Council President Escobar.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with and satisfied in that the annual notice which gives sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board in City Book, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Homeless Tribune.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, this afternoon, I want to share the elections were yesterday. Some of us are happy, some of us are not. But I thought that it was appropriate to share with you a short reflection, part of Dr. King's writing that he did in a writing named Facing the Challenge of a New Age. I think it was appropriate. And he says, and I quote, "But the end is reconciliation, the end is redemption. The end is the creation of a beloved community. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opposers into friends. It is this kind of understanding and goodwill that will transform the deep gloom of the old age into the exuberant gladness of the new age. It is this love which is green about miracles." And all I have to say is that may we continue to pursue the idea of a beloved community throughout the nation, especially now. A community, as Dr. King describes it, in which people of all races, religions, and nations can live together in peace and harmony, working together for the good of humankind. Thank you.
Second.
Councilmember Castañeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has the correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Council President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office was forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. We have now ordinances on second reading. We have ordinance 102, 407 is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, scheduled uses in reference to parking zones for handicapped persons. We are adding different locations: 21 Maple, 10 Heights, 254 Redmond, 8 Prospect Street, and 219 Harris Street. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments on this particular ordinance? At this time, we are preparing for a public hearing on this ordinance only. We have up to 5 minutes, one time up. If any member of the public wishes to address the council on this specific ordinance, please come forward. See none?
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Castañeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have ordinance 102, 408 is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick. This is chapter 10.12, traffic control regulations, schedule 22, traffic control signal. We are deleting various locations and we are adding various locations. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions about this or any comments on this ordinance? At this time, we are preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only. You have up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. If any member of the public wishes to address the council on this particular ordinance, please come forward.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. Well, my question is, what type of traffic control signals are you talking about?
These are existing signals in many cases. Some of these signals were actually modified by the county. Title 39 requires us now to add in our ordinance and in our schedule not only the location, but also the date of the timing signal, as well as the date of the traffic plan. So we're just cleaning up the ordinances. If you look, everything that's being eliminated is simply says the location, then we're adding the location plus the additional data. So it's just it's a cleanup of the ordinance.
Thank you.
So basically, my question, thank you though for explaining, is when I say what kind of traffic signals, due to where, what are you talking about? Pedestrian signs with flashing lights, due to are you talking about, what are you specifically talking about, traffic signals? What, something working on the traffic lights or whatever?
It would be what commonly people call traffic lights. It's any traffic signal that has the red, green, and yellow.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else on these specific ordinance? Solo es esta ordenanza, la del cambio en las señales de tráfico.
Oh,
Okay. I'm telling you that this is just the ordinance, this is only for the ordinance referring to the traffic signals. Any other public wishes to address the council? So you want to just...
Second.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have an ordinance 102, 102-409. It's an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the city of New Brunswick, Title 8, Health and Safety. We are adding a new chapter 8.33, Smoking in Public. Before we go on, I just wanted to ask, in the interest of time, and there's some questions that some of our council members have and modifications that we would like to see on this particular ordinance. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to table it.
Madam President, I would put out forth a motion to table so that we can review certain recommendations and look to better fit an ordinance moving forward.
I will second that.
Roll call.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins.
Yes.
Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. In the interest of those that might have limited English speaking skills, esta ordenanza no se va a hablar de ella, se va a poner en reposo, ¿no? Se va a parar esta noche, no vamos a hablar de ella porque queremos hacer unas modificaciones que no tuvimos tiempo de hacerlas, por lo tanto no va a haber comentarios del público en este momento sobre esta ordenanza. I just explained that as part of this ordinance was tabled and we will not have a public comment part of it at this time. It is my hope that we will have this ready for the next, for December, for the first meeting in December, so hopefully then we will revisit this, because it is important to the council in order to promote public health, but also ensuring that we're doing it in the right way. So thank you. Then we have ordinance number 4. It's an ordinance to adopt a redevelopment plan for the New Brunswick New Redmond 2 redevelopment plan area in the city of New Brunswick. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or any comments on this particular ordinance? Mr. Dominguez, are you here?
Yes, sorry.
Hi, I'm sorry. So just, I know that you have given us before, so a summation of what it is, but if you could remind us again of what is that we're trying to do with this particular ordinance.
Thank you, Council President. As you may be aware, on New Street, between Redmond Street and New Street and Joyce Gilmer Avenue and Railroad, there is a large empty lot, and this also, the redevelopment plan also includes some parcels around there and across the street, but mostly focused on that large assemblage of land there. And the redevelopment plan looks to put a redevelopment plan on that parcel once again, which we had back up to 2018, 2019 for about 10 years, and to do the development of 1 or potentially 2 new office buildings in that area.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions, any suggestions, any comments on this particular ordinance? At this time, we're going to open the floor for the public to give your comments on this particular ordinance only. You have up to 5 minutes, 1 person, 1 time up.
Good evening, Council. Charlie Cradville. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, resident of New Brunswick. Brunswick. I was at the planning board hearing where this plan was approved by that board, and I raised some concerns there that I hope you'll consider before you put your seal of approval on it. First and foremost, we are in a housing crisis. We need more affordable housing, and I don't think that the city has been delivering very much affordable housing. I know that we already have lots of office space of different types. We have office space that's under development already in the city, but we have a lack of affordable housing, yet the plan being put before you tonight is a plan for office only, right, to allow for a developer to potentially come in and apply for a long-term tax exemption and get a big discount on their taxes to produce 0 units of housing and, you know, make profit off of potentially renting out office space. I think, especially so close to our train station, we ought to be prioritizing the construction of housing and specifically affordable housing. Can you please ask Mr. Dominguez if he can tell us, like for instance, in the past 5 years, how many new units of affordable housing have come online in the city?
Dominguez, do you have that? Do you have that? I'm going to ask anyway. Do you have that number? Because
Off the top of my head, no, I remember Mr. Crandall asked me this at the planning board meeting, and I think that have actually come online that are complete, not including the 53 units at Sterling side that are halfway done. I think it was a handful of units.
Like less than 10, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been in a crisis for many years. The city knows we're in a crisis. For whatever reason, the choices that have been made to pursue more affordable housing through other redevelopment plans have not come through, and there's only a very small number of new units of affordable housing. I think that this land ought to be considered for mixed-use development or housing development. That's my personal opinion, but it's also based on many years of going to these planning board meetings and seeing what types of development are, you know, most needed. And I think that you've heard from lots of your residents about the cost of housing, and many of you have talked about the need for affordable housing. This is a chance to actually do it, but the planning board, for whatever reason, is putting a plan before you that includes no affordable housing, no housing whatsoever. And I think that that would be a mistake. So I would encourage you to look critically at this plan, to, like you did with the other ordinance, table it, and reconsider the direction you're going for this piece of property.
anybody else from the public has any comments?
Hi, yes, Daniel Moore, I will continue on with what Mr. Crandall was just saying due to where, come on, I see enough knocking down as well right here on Byard Street with good condition buildings, for offices and luxury apartments again. But I have to say, due to where as a resident, it'll be almost 48 years, and born and raised in New Brunswick, I think due to where it's time for some low-income housing to help out, due to where with the homeless, due to where, as I just posted yesterday, due to where, wow, how you're removing all the seats where you have senior citizens and disabled people, removing all the benches from George Street due to where to stop homeless from sleeping on this. But think of people due to where some people need to sit down and rest due to where what's going on. Then, like I said, come on, we know due to where what honestly a lot of this going on is against due to where I'm not going to say some of you, but more a planning board due to where Mr. Council from the county due to where he gets approved with all his projects, but due to where, like I said, and you know, I go throughout helping homeless people as needed. That was just where how I made some food the other day, giving out to people to help out. But like I said, but no matter what, due to where my next concern was, is this going to be, due to what you're talking about office space, is this also going to be a situation with parking, dealing with parking over there, or is it going to be their own parking spaces over there, their own deck or something?
Dominguez.
The current envisioning of the site will be that a portion, probably about half of the parking will be on site and the other half will be at the new street deck.
So, okay, but like I said, even though enough of these, all these buildings that you have growing up due to where, the traffic is extremely so bad due to where, like I said, and when I say extremely so bad due to where, wow, it's how an emergency vehicle has to wait at least 10 minutes to try to get through the traffic, due to where, how many more complexes do you have coming up? New Brunswick is overpopulated already, and you had heard that from, maybe you didn't hear it, but in the planning board, from the lawyer that, for the Board of Education, the schools can't take any more kids? It's overpopulated, enough with all these buildings where you're knocking down. And it's one thing I surely want you to pay attention. Wow, the beauty that you're doing, I tell you, the more that you're knocking down, the worse the crime is getting. Keep your mind on what is needed. With crime in New Brunswick, like I said, due to where, sad to see where the dead body found over to the park the other night, due to where, come on, beauty is not going to clear New Brunswick up with you just making it beautiful, reconstruction buildings. Please, start thinking about, like I said, doing the right thing. Like I said, money, and I proved to you with that for several occasions, due to where it's not an issue, but doing the right thing, it is. So please keep it in mind. Honestly, I have to say, City Council, Mayor, Planning Board, Zoning Board, you're destroying New Brunswick. Because the more you build, the overpopulating it's getting, the more crime it is. Enough is enough.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council on this ordinance? Seeing none?
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Castaneda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskin. Yes. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. We have no ordinances on first reading, so we're going now into resolutions. Before we go into resolutions, I have a few resolutions that I would like some explanations for and to give a summation. I will start with Mr. Valenti, number 6, and along with that, number 7, 6 and 7.
Madam Council President, both these are inter-service agreements with the county, which we renew year after year after year, and these actually reimburse the city for the expenses on every second Saturday. We open up our public works yard for, I think it's 4 or 5 hours. We do paint collection, we do electronics collection, and we also do the CFC recoveries. So this is a common yearly agreement that we have with the county, and it literally reimburses us all for, about 95% of our expenses to do these things. So it's a great program for the city.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that people remember. Then, number 8, Mr. Wolver.
Sure. Council President, this agreement is with Middlesex County for the County Health Services for health inspectors and also education for the residents. Yeah, it's an annual resolution.
Thank you. Then Mr. Dominguez, 15 and 16, please.
Thank you, Council President. So for number 15, in an effort to better record our meetings at our Planning and Zoning Board, we were exploring options as to how to handle transcription services, and after picking the brain of Big Nail Planning, who does our planning services for our boards, they advised that in all the towns, or most of the towns that they operate in, they require that applicants provide their own court reporter and require them to present a transcription of the proceeding prior to the resolution of approval being issued. And we're looking to move in the same direction so that we can have, at the applicant's expense, have transcripts generated of the hearings for the city's records. And as for number 16, we're looking to, on the mechanical side, we have a requirement that for outdoor mechanical equipment, think HVAC equipment, generators, permanent generators, not the temporary kind, that they have to be located at least 10 feet from any property line in residential areas. But some people in some zones, in some areas, that because of the way it was built, literally can't do that. If there's 20 feet or less, and you can't put it even in the center of the property and comply with the 10-foot. And so this would allow an exception for small properties to come down, I believe, to 8 feet. I don't remember exactly what the ordinance says, the draft ordinance says, if the parcel is 21 feet wide or less, so that they can still be able to put in air conditioning equipment, heating equipment, a generator or something like that. And for the church signage, we're exploring for churches that exist in our relatively intense R6 and R7 zones, which are our highest residential primary zones, so not like downtown, which is mixed use and whatnot. We have churches scattered around our residential zones. In these two in particular, because of their level of intensity, we want to give a greater deal of flexibility to those churches in the signage that they can put in, and so this ordinance would allow some flexibility for the signage for churches in those areas.
Thank you. Do any of my fellow council members have any questions or comments with this, any of the resolutions for this matter? This one? Okay. We're getting ready to open the meeting to public comment on the resolutions only. You have up to 5 minutes, one person, one time up. If any members of the public wishes to address the council on the resolutions only, please come forward.
Hi, yes, Danielle Moore. I'm going to go back to number 8 with public health services and programs, due to where I have to say I don't know if this is a connection to where even though my son is graduated, but I still get the alerts and I still with the Board of Education. Is this connected due to where I have to say it's like I advertise things due to where how the city will be helping out with pap smear tests for women, and also is this something connected due to where, like I said, health services due to where it's for people, it was specifically for people who have limited or no health insurance.
Yeah. I know in the past they have been part of it, so I'm pretty sure, Mr. Valenti, this part, the health services agreement that we have, I know in the past, I know that we have been involved with offering to the community free screening to low incomes, especially with other partners in the community. It is part of this agreement in terms of health education and screenings.
I'm actually not familiar with this. I would suggest administration might be better to answer this. You're talking to the health services, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the previous two are ours, as relates to recycling. This would...
Recycle, sure.
Council President, I would have to check on those specifics for the medical credit.
But I'm pretty sure that we have...
Well, okay, like I said, my point is that you don't have to, I'm just saying due to where it was good to see, like I said, with things that was being offered, due to where, like I said, where, and I hope a lot of women take it seriously with it due to where you have a free chance of getting it, because like I said, cancer is a very serious thing due to where, and I did like it to see due to where from ages 21 to 64, how they were willing to, what the Board of Education sent it to me saying with Robert Wood Johnson, and due to where they were offering 3 different tests for people. So like I said, I was just giving thumbs up. You don't have to look into it. I'm just saying it's a great idea on that. It was good to see. Then my other situation, that was where, okay, that's number 17 with the radio communication. Due to where once again, I will speak due to where since you did not approve, take me seriously about changing 911 or 745-5200 over to New Brunswick and still to Rutgers. I think due to where the radios that you need to be buying, that's due to where Rutgers is in charge of the calls, which I meant asking too many questions. I think the radios need to be joined to New Brunswick Police Department where they share the same radio, instead of asking so many questions, and then you have to call New Brunswick through their radio to do this, due to another situation about 2 weeks ago. Well, the ambulance coming due to where, what, the wrong location, they go to the wrong location again. So if you're gonna be spending this much about money, $59,000 on radio communication, come on, due to where you're not really gonna take matters seriously. I told you, each one of you that said yes on accepting the 911, due to where what? You done killed 6 people already, due to where it's a situation where it's taking too long for calls with New Brunswick and the ambulance, due to where, what? Too many questions with 911, 745-5200. Like I said, join the radios together, the police department to get Rutgers and New Brunswick together if you're talking about radio communication. It needs to be better.
Captain Hooper, this specific software, does it have anything to do with 911 and the communication between departments, the software that we are purchasing with this?
Absolutely nothing.
Well, like I said, I didn't say that it had to deal with
No, thank you. No, I'm
911.
making it.
Well, good, then okay, I'm glad he answered, but that's what you really need to think about. If you're talking about communication, that's what officers talking through the radio due to where, what? Yes, you need to talk with where Rutgers and New Brunswick need to talk about things. And like I said, I'm pretty sure other people in here now have been witnessing what I'm saying is a problem where you wouldn't take me seriously.
I understand, Ms. Daniel, it's just that I want to make sure that we were still talking about the resolution, but I'm not taking anything away from the points that you were making, which will be better for the public comment, but it's okay, I just wanted to.
Well, my point is due to where you're talking about radio communication, like I said, think of it with joining radios with Rutgers Police Department.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council on the resolutions only?
Good evening once again, Charlie Prattville. I think I only want to ask about one of these, the number 15, the transcripts for the planning board. Can you ask the planning director if he can clarify if they're still going to make audio recordings of the meetings?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to hear. I do want to take this opportunity to say that all of the city's boards can do a lot more to be more accessible by having remote access, having people be able to join via something like Zoom. And when you do that, you make it very easy to make a record because you just press record and then you have a full record and somebody can make a transcript later if necessary. If you're using old technology or no technology, it can be hard, especially when New Brunswick today isn't able to get a recording of the meeting. So I hope that all the boards will move towards having modern technology so that we can document the meetings, not just on paper or on audio, but using modern video technology. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council on the resolutions only?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Castañeda.
Yes.
Councilmember Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember Gaskins. Yes. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Council President Escobar.
Yes. Before we open the floor for public comments, I just want to give a few updates. There was question as to an update on the ethics board. I believe that Mr. Shami at the last meeting explained that we're still looking for lawyers, so that's still the case. So anything else that you want to add?
That's the status. Hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have something in place.
Thank you. Also, there was a question about the decision, who made the decision to transfer the case to the JIF, the case of Mr. Fleming. So, Mr. Chairman, would you like to address that, please?
Well, Madam Council President, members of council, as I advised the council approximately a year or so ago, when the cases come into the city of New Brunswick, they usually come in by just the way of summons and complaint. If they name a city employee, they name someone who's acting in a capacity as a representative of the city, we send it to the Joint Insurance Fund as a standard practice for purposes of coverage. Coverage in this particular case, with respect to Mr. Fleming's matter that you speak of, referred to Mr. Fleming as the council member and made allegations against him with respect to him being a status person as a council member, a representative of the city. In fact, the governor was sued and many other people on that same complaint. When we sent it to the Joint Insurance Fund, they review it for purposes of coverage. And in this particular case, they elected to provide coverage, and they issued what's called a reservation of rights letter. That reservation of rights letter says we're going to provide coverage, however, should the case proceed to the point where we determine that the alleged actions or inactions do not involve or touch the city position or the city office at which the individual is involved, then we have the opportunity to decline coverage and to pull out of the case. Well, in this particular matter, that's what happened with respect to the course of time. Discovery of these cases can take years. In this particular case, it took quite some time. And at the conclusion of some discovery and motions, it was determined that the allegations were against Mr. Fleming as a person, individual, if you will, and not in his capacity as city councilman. And at that time, the JIF withdrew. And that's the standard operating procedure with respect to these matters. The city did what it's supposed to do. The JIF honored their obligation to the city as they are required to do under our contract with them.
Thank you. We have some items for discussion for the council. We have the proposed 2025 city council meeting schedule. Everybody had a chance to look at it. We good?
So,
Yes,
just one, Madam Council President, members of council, with respect to this schedule, which we like to adopt in December, there is one business meeting that is tentative. We have really no conflicts with respect to legal holidays with our meeting schedule. The only potential decision that you have to make is the last meeting of the year, which we generally have just for business of paying bills and things that are emergent. That would be December 29th, which is a Monday. If the council is fine with it, we could select that day as the last meeting of calendar year 2025. Of course, if there's no business to come before the council, the council can adjourn or cancel that meeting, because there would be no business to come before the council. But for purposes of scheduling, we propose the 29th of December.
Any change? Yes.
No, not on that,
Yes.
something else. The first meeting that we have is usually the first and third
Right.
Wednesdays. In January, obviously, January 1st is a Wednesday,
Correct.
and it has it circled as the second Wednesday, the 8th.
Correct.
Is there any problems with that, or swearing in, or anything like that?
No, I don't see any problems with that, Council Vice President.
Any other comments from council members? So we're good.
All right, so we'll prepare the appropriate resolution for consideration by council at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the best practices worksheet. Mr. Mulvine, want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure, absolutely, thank you. This best practices is an annual report that the state requires every town and municipality and county, I believe fire districts all do file. It's a listing of best practices the state feels that all the entities of government should be performing or complying with as best they can. So it gives us the option to review it, give our answers, and then submit back for grading purposes, I guess, if you will. So the maximum score, or the minimum we have to get without any kind of impact to state aid is a 35, and we scored 42. So no issues there.
Any questions from council members on that? You looked at the copy? Okay. So lastly, on my updates and statement before we open the floor is I want to congratulate fellow council members, Fleming, Sicorolagui, she's not here, Ferguson and Castañeda. Looking forward to continue working together for the betterment of our community. So congratulations. Anderson. Sorry, Vice President Anderson. Somebody forgot to go to the soon, right?
Yeah.
No. I apologize for that. But congratulations to all of you. Next, we're going to open the floor. I'm going to open the floor for public comments. Just as I usually do every time we open the floor. This is a public comments. This is not a question and answer period. We will listen to your comments. If there's anything that we can address immediately, I will do so. If not, we are taking notes, and we will make sure that we will have an answer to you as soon as possible. So again, it's one time up. You have 5 minutes to come up. So at this time,
my name is Elvira Cordero, and we are members from the Esperanza Project in New Brunswick. So we are here today because we would like to let you know about the safety on the French Street. We know that we work very hard, and especially you work very hard, provided the police officers to mitigate the violence or the assaults on that street, but we think we know there is something else we can do. So that's why we are here, and we have some testimonies for that.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Ricarda García, vivo en la calle Sampo, cerca de la French Street.
Good evening, my name is Ricarda Garcia, and I live near to the French Street.
Yo trabajo para el proyecto Esperanza, regando las macetas y limpiando la calle.
I work for the French Street, watering the flowers, and also cleaning the street.
Y lo que he visto en mis horas de trabajo es, bueno, yo fui víctima de un robo, de una cadena, y el día lunes que estaba trabajando vi a una persona que le estaba reportando a la policía que le habían robado también una cadena.
I am a victim of assault. The other day, some people take off my necklace, and that street is a little bit dangerous, so that's what I hear.
Lo que queremos para seguridad de las personas es que si pueden que los policías tengan como un horario un poco más extenso por las tardes, ¿o no?
So we request you that police officer has extended hours to walk around the street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Fidela Franco, yo vivo en el 394 de la Ponce Street.
Hi, my name is Fidela Franco, and I'm living in the 354 Comstock Street.
Yo vengo a ver si nos pueden apoyar sobre un accidente que hubo hace 2 meses o 2 meses y medio sobre la Flores y la French Street.
I'm coming here to let you know that 2 months ago was a fatal accident between the French Street and the Florence.
Entonces, anteriormente yo tenía ese miedo de que pasara, pero con los niños, porque a veces carros vienen bien fuertes de la 27 a la French. Entonces los niños transcurren de 15 para las 7 a la bus de la Jersey y no hay nadie que los pase. Entonces ahorita pasó con el Señor, no quiero que pase con los niños.
So I'm concerned about the safety kids because around the hours from the school, the traffic is a lot, and all of the drivers is driving without the speed control. So we are asking to put a light on that corner because
entonces por eso yo quiero una seguridad para los niños y como para nosotros los adultos, porque los conductores no están respetando el límite de la French.
señora Fidela, para ser justo con la traducción, usted no mencionó yo no escuché que usted quería un semáforo. Usted habló de que no hay seguridad, un guardia, como alguien que cruce a los niños en la mañana. ¿Qué usted está pidiendo en sí? I was just saying in the interest of the translation, to be fair, she mentioned, the translator mentioned something about a traffic light. I didn't hear her mention that, so I just want to be clear of what is it that she's asking.
Sí, o sea que, porque una vez me dijeron que no podían poner un semáforo, porque estaban muy pegadas las calles, pero yo quiero una seguridad, o que pongan unas luces para detener los carros mientras los niños estén pasando. O como como una idea que ustedes puedan dar para la protección de los niños como nosotros los adultos.
So she's saying that a while back she was told that they couldn't have a traffic light in that area. So she's asking to see if there's any way that it's a crossing guard or some lights, some flashing lights that kind of, when the kids are there waiting to be picked up by the bus and walking, that the traffic coming in from 27 into New Brunswick knows that the kids are there to slow down, because usually they come in at high speed. And there was an accident recently, she said that a gentleman had an accident. With an adult, and she doesn't want this to happen to the children.
Especially on the same corner of Florence, because that curve is a blind spot.
Sí, porque también los niños pasan en esa área de la Florence y French a comprar en la bodega.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a bodega in that corner, so the kids are running to across the street.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Sí, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Cristóbal Bautista, vivo 149 de Simon Street. Soy la persona.
My name is Cristóbal Bautista and I live
149 Simon Street.
149 Simon Street.
I work with the
Acérquese al micrófono, es los micrófonos.
Acérquese aquí. Acérquese aquí.
You were doing fine. Go ahead, you do it.
Vivo en la chica.
Okay.
Yo trabajo limpiando la French Street
I work cleaning the French Street.
y pues lo que yo estimo es de que siempre nuestros policías de seguridad siempre estén pendientes, porque existe gente que no respeta los botes de la basura. Existe una compañía de la Jersey Avenue que trae basura y lo bota ahí en la calle sobre Walking Street. Correcto.
So I would like to ask you for, my concern is for the cleaning, because there is a company on the Jersey Avenue, so those people go to the French Street to throw the trash.
He says that in the Walgreens, there's a company from Jersey Avenue that comes down to Walgreens to dump their garbage on Walgreens.
Sí, la persona, yo le hablé la atención, le dije que estaba en un lugar indicado para tirar la basura y no lo podía hacer. Y él me dijo, si no te callas, yo te mato. Y le digo, tranquilo, si no me estoy peleando, yo soy servidor público.
So I talked with that person that day and calling the attention that it's not the right place to put the garbage. And he treated me, telling me, if you say something, I will kill you.
Le dije que no era eso, porque lo que yo necesitaba es que la ciudad de nosotros lo mantuviéramos limpio.
So I say, this is not the matter. The matter is to keep clean our streets.
Entonces quedó tranquilo y cuando iba al semáforo me señalaba todavía que ya me conocía. Yo hice un reporte de la policía para que mi seguridad esté siempre confiando de que el pueblo de Neurodis lo mantengamos limpio.
So I saw him on the street and he made signs with the fingers telling me that I know you. So today I made a report with the police with that incident.
Thank you. Gracias.
Bueno, este tema ya es conocido también, es sobre...
¿Su nombre, por favor?
Mi nombre es Amanda Alvarado y vivo en la 55 Jersey.
Hi, my name is Amanda Alvarado and I live in the Jersey, 55 Jersey.
Y mi recordatorio es que ya habíamos puesto este tema ante ustedes, pero venimos a volver a recordarles del parque de la French.
It's just to remind you the conversation that we already have about the park on the French Street.
Entonces mi complaint es por los niños y por nosotros también, ahora que ya cambió el horario, ya se oscurece más temprano como sabemos, y es el mismo problema. Hay unos señores jóvenes, de todo hay ahí en esa esquina del parquecito entre la bakery y la Walgreens, y esa esquina siempre es muy poblada y no se puede ni caminar ahí en la banqueta.
So my concern is about this season is getting dark early. So it used to some people standing on the corner. French and Seaman. My concern is about the kids because it's dark now.
Incluso este verano, los vecinos que estamos ahí nos hemos dado cuenta, incluso ya hasta ponen puestecitos en esa esquina.
So we are realized also in summer, so those people that they put like some places to sell
Un
something.
puesto de qué? Como de ice cream, de hielo. Entonces, sabemos que es verano, pero el lugar es inapropiado porque hay orinan los borrachos. Hay
There's people, there's peddlers in that area selling ice cream.
en esa esquina, toda esa esquina, lamentablemente quedó bonito el parque, se los agradecemos, pero lamentablemente esa esquina no está en el parque, pero están en esa esquina. Entonces, ahí es donde se ven, salen los niños, están orinando los borrachos y no se mueven, sino que van cruzando la gente y ellos ahí está el grupo.
So we are thank you for the park because it's beautiful, but the problem now is the people on that corner because they are doing the necessities on the front of the kids. When you say something, they are moving from one point to another. Thank you.
Yes,
I didn't understand the point regarding the peddlers, that was the transit.
that they said that usually, you know that the little strip of, that's missing in that
Thank you all.
area, they have people there selling ice cream or selling different things, especially over the summer. And that's a really tight space. So while the people are walking, there's other people idling in that area that shouldn't be there, so it creates more of a challenge for the residents in that area to control.
Hi, yes, Daniel Moore. I have to say I'm glad that camera is on each and every one of you. Some to say, wow, basically what my neighbors and friends said due to her, each one of them, they all know me, but we speak just about every day. But the way I see this, due to her, wow, you take them more seriously, but don't take me seriously. Why? Because I'm black? Due to where, how many times did I've been speaking on matters of this? Due to where I just even spoke on this at the traffic meeting about putting lights over there, and then what? None of you take me seriously? But wow, good to see. Now, they were all my friends, and you can't tell me that doesn't have nothing to do with race and hate. Due to where, wow, how all of you took them seriously, but how long have I been saying this has been going on, and to see nothing done? Devil that I'm speaking to. I will speak on due to where a matter with Mr. Dean, due to where, like I said, I'm helping him out with goodness of my heart, due to where I went to the doctor with him again today. We finally discussed, and the city may get their decision, but due to where I didn't prove to him, just like I proved to anyone with drugs, drinking, or whatever, depression, that it's time for him to leave his location. If you cannot distract yourself from what your situation is, like say I'm distracting myself when I'm home. I have 4-month-old kittens that's keeping me a little happy, trying to help me. But now it's proved due to where, if the city wants to start talking with me and Mr. Dean about, even though someone put his house up for auction already, if you want to start talking about a deal, then come on. Then we can, but you're not going to get his property. But he just spoke at the doctors and he's been telling me, ooh, why am I so depressed when sitting in the house? So like I said, I will move on, but like I said, due to where for New Brunswick police to follow me, thinking that that I was bringing Mr. Dean over to my house and all, like I said, the Lord has blessed me with, due to where I said I was getting $2,500 a month, due to where once my son turned 18, I don't get it anymore. I get $996 due to where what did I tell you? I have the evidence. I've got a huge lump sum of money due to what I was prepared for. I have the evidence for. Then as I showed you many a time, where the Lord blesses me as I teach others that you help someone else, you're helping yourself. Well, I have 616 credit with PSE&G, I haven't paid in the past 6 months. The Lord is blessing me. Like I said, majority of you keep thinking that I'm wrong. You're the devil, not me. And then due to where on October 20th, with Officer Yunez, I have one recording, he's not supposed to come anywhere near me due to where, wow, for a man drinking in public, no tickets, then pull his clothes down in front of children exposing himself, then taking a shit in someone else's truck. Oh, long as he cleans it up, walk away. Racism, don't tell me that I don't see racism going on between in here and with New Brunswick Police Department. And like I said, I will be taking matters. Do you think that Channel 12 News would say, ooh, how black folks are treated differently in here in New Brunswick if I didn't provide her with evidence of what New Brunswick Police does? Due to where what? Then the next thing, what? Like I said, I just came from an MRI Monday. Yes, am I going through the depression? Oh yes, I am. Due to it, like I said, what? My arm is literally hanging off. They had to put a machine to hold my arm up, which is very painful to do it. Next thing, I do have to get the surgery. Where what? New Brunswick did this to me, tore my shoulder, 3 locations dislocated. Or why the hell you won't turn over the damn body cameras to the lawyers? Wow, I will take matters to go to the damn news channel. My lawyer done put it through the judge, due to where what, we still haven't received it? What, you accuse me of damn doing something that I didn't want to do? And what, did I just get letters from Captain Shaw? What, where he's, oh sorry, we will no longer, you can't release any videos. Why? Because like I said, devils were you made damn captains of, due to where what? Please, like I said, some of you, I don't even want to damn look at you. And Glenn Fleming, you need to start speaking up for damn black people due to her what? When Mr. Criderville asks, ooh, Suzanne Sator Loving asks Mayor Cahill, oh, how do you think about her? Oh, she's very great. But wow, when Charlie Criderville asks about you, oh, no comment. You better start speaking up, and then like I said, no, you let other people speak extra time. Bang the hammer. I want you. Look good, like I said.
Would you like another minute?
Look good, like I said, to do it. You let other people finish talking. Would you like another minute? Like I said,
would you like another minute so I could give you another minute to talk? Would you like another minute?
Oh, now you're gonna finally offer me after I said thank you, but you treat people equal.
Thank you for your comment.
Look at yourself in the mirror, Escobar. You're working with the devil.
God bless. Next.
Hi, I know it's not necessarily like time to ask questions, but I was wondering if I could inquire about why the benches all along George Street have disappeared, especially by the bus stop. There's nowhere to sit if you're waiting for the bus.
I will get you information and give you an answer.
Okay. My suspicion, and I think a lot of the people I've talked to, the suspicion is that the benches are removed because the city doesn't want homeless people sleeping on those benches. And I think, it's just a little sad to see that the way we treat those people in this city. I just heard the other day that some of the people who stay at the train station, their stuff got thrown out. And I really think, just in general, that we should be treating these people better. And to see the community tearing these benches down that serve everybody, not just people sleeping on them, I know, it's just sad to see.
Next, anybody else?
Hi, I want to talk on a couple of things. The first thing, I'm Chris Cunningham, 272 Hamilton Street. First of all, I wanted to talk about the smoking policy. Now I know you guys are re-looking at it, revising it. I'm not sure what that means. There hasn't been a lot of transparency about that. But I'm deeply concerned about this policy. I think it's actually a really complicated issue because on the one hand, of course, we don't want children inhaling secondhand smoke. That's of course very significant and important to me. At the same time, though, there's a huge homeless population in this city, right? Many of them do smoke, right? And there also isn't a homeless shelter or any areas where they can smoke, right? And not be harassed by police. Okay, I was looking at the fines on this ordinance, we're talking $200, $500 fines, okay? So if you're a homeless person, what this equates to eventually is going to put them into the criminal justice system, right? You might think, oh, it's just a fine, no big deal. But as those fines add up, eventually it's going to lead to people ending up in the criminal justice system, right? And I think that there's some way to like address the secondhand smoke issue while still providing public spaces where smoking is allowed, at least in the interim, since the city council has refused to build or invest in creating even a homeless shelter, right? We're talking about how you guys want to build more office buildings, right? But not affordable housing, right? Which is actually the solution to homelessness in Brunswick, right? That's the real solution, right? Not a homeless shelter, but affordable housing. You know, so to me, like, I think there's a big concern, right, with this smoking initiative. I'm afraid that it's going to be used to attack and criminalize the homeless in New Brunswick. And those people are a gift to the city. They have a right to be here. We have a right to treat them with respect and dignity and take care of them.
Anybody else want to contribute to address the council?
Yes, please.
Good evening once again, Charlie Pratt, Village of Brunswick, New Brunswick. Today I'll start by saying thanks for dropping by. It's nice to see you in the neighborhood. First of all, this room doesn't have enough seating for everybody who wanted to be here today. I don't know how many people can legally be here today, but there's a lot less seating than there used to be. The audio system's poor. We don't have remote access. Let's do better in 2025. I know that some of you have won full terms on the council, but I urge you to not let that get to your head. You had no opponents. And I think that our democracy is badly damaged, if not broken, here in New Brunswick and in many other ways too. So I think we need to find ways to work together. I did appreciate hearing a little bit more about the questions I asked last time with the case against Mr. Fleming, but it's apparent that Mr. Fleming was not honest with the public, and I encourage folks to read my latest article on New Brunswick Today. It's titled, "Judge Orders Councilman to Pay Accuser $15K in Sex Harassment Case." And I wanted to ask through the chair for Mr. Fleming if he has anything to say for himself about the public funds that went to his legal defense and his inconsistent remarks about that case.
I think that Mr. Fleming has said in the past and in the last time that he's not making any more comments, and this council is not making any more comments on that.
Well, I think that's unfortunate.
Mr. Fleming, am I correct?
I think that's very unfortunate that the council is going to, stay silent when there's obvious corruption going on. And that corruption took place at the MCM gym, the Middlesex County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund, and I want to be very clear that in that case, no government entity was a named defendant at any time. Yet, for some reason, through the city and the JIF, it was decided that Mr. Fleming would get a free lawyer. And it wasn't until I exposed this in a prior article that the faucet stopped flowing and our money stopped going to that case. I want everybody to know that, and I would like you to ask the JIF representatives who are here, are they actively considering the options of fund dissolution and or bankruptcy at this time?
Would you like to answer that, Mr. Lewis? Address that.
Hi, Ben. At first, I think it's very offensive for Mr. Crowder to use the word corrupt. He throws around words like that, and that's not the case. Second, as relates to the JIF, he participates in the public meetings as well. He reads the audits. I know you do. You do a good job with your questions. So based on what you've seen in the audits, based on what you hear in the meetings, there is no bankruptcy or dissolution.
Okay. I'll move on to the ethics board. It was, so I don't know where Councilwoman Skor Ludwig is, but I filed a complaint against her 97 days ago. It was supposed to be served on the councilwoman within 10 days. Can you ask Mr. Shammy, has that been done?
Mr. Shammy, has that been done?
I believe you received a copy of it through the clerk's office. We're just trying to get the lawyer in place so we can commence a hearing.
Right, it sounds like the ethics board is not functioning. In their standard operating procedures, it says that a subcommittee of 2 members of the board must evaluate my complaint and report their recommendation to the full board and board council at an executive session within 30 days of receipt of the complaint. I'll remind you, we are at 97 days. And can you just check with Mr. Shammy, that hasn't happened yet, right? There's no subcommittee, they haven't held any meetings.
Mr. Shammy?
That's true.
Okay, so it seems like the city does not have a functional ethics board, and as a result, a council member who has ethical questions, I think a very legitimate complaint that I filed against her, and I'm happy to share copies with anybody who wants to see it, based on her conduct, it's not getting adjudicated, it's not getting investigated for many months now. And I wanted to ask if you're okay with this. Have you been following her case in the courts? Do you have any concerns about her unethical conduct the night of her arrest?
The only thing that I would say is that to the best of my knowledge, it's an ongoing case. It hasn't been adjudicated. If I'm correct, so I'm not going to make any comments.
Okay, well, I have to ask because I was watching her proceeding today, and it was alluded to that, you know, that she was trying to suppress evidence against her by saying that New Brunswick wasn't providing the documents for the case. Can New Brunswick speak to that? Is there any reason for the holdup in providing the discovery that her attorney is entitled to?
I don't think we are ready to prepare to answer that question, right, Mr. Chairman? I have no knowledge of that, so I just want to...
May I have another minute?
You may.
Okay. Thank you. I do have to ask about a New Brunswick firefighter, Michael Schultz, was arrested on August 20th for trespassing and DWI. Is he still active? Was there any discipline? What is the fire department doing about
To the
this?
best of my knowledge, Mr. Carnival, you asked those questions to our public information officer, and to the best of my knowledge, he answered you. You received a response, right?
I did hear that it's under investigation, but I wanted to know if...
You know, CC me on that, so I just found that, so no, that's what I'm saying. I know that he responded to you accordingly.
Okay, I'm very, goes without saying, concerned about safety in New Brunswick, and that includes safety on our roads. The last thing we need is people intoxicated behind the wheel, driving unsafely, and it appears that happened on this particular night. And I'm very concerned about the fire department in general, and the leadership of the fire department, and how they have dropped the ball when it comes to background checks and discipline, and I hope that things will improve, because this is unacceptable. Thanks.
Mr. Carnival, anybody else from the public wishes to address the council?
Hi, April McLeod, Main Street. So I wanted to ask again about the council president having department representatives provide updates at these council meetings. As background for anyone who hasn't been to these meetings previously, in the interest of transparency and public information and the ability of the public to engage more effectively with their local community. You've previously had a selection of department representatives come up to the mic and share updates on their department's activities, and certainly in my opinion, every update that we've gotten has been very helpful, very valuable information, and the public has been appreciative of those updates provided. I and others have previously made the request that a representative of the police department come up to the mic and provide a robust and proactive update on their department's activities and how they're addressing the issues that we've seen recently with crime. When can the public expect that update at this meeting?
I'll try to get an answer for you, because I think that I understand, and I like to have the departments come and give an update. I think it's really helpful. Really, that's why I do it. I think that I'm trying to figure out what would the police say. It's day-to-day that they do, so it's more of a general questions. If there's any specific things that the public is looking for, then it's easier, right? Because day-to-day is a different situation with police officer. I'm not going to tell them to come here to say how many arrests, or how many crimes, or how many, that's not the purpose of the updates. If it's something specific that you want to hear, in terms of maybe, I know there were some questions about what else, we spoke about is, what are some of the educational campaigns that they're doing on drugs, or in the community, pedestrian safety, things like that. I don't mind having a representative coming in and giving an update, right? But I don't think it's really proper or to have them to give some statistics. I know that that's not the purpose of having somebody come in and give us an update. So if you have something specific for the general public in terms of education or any of the initiatives that they have received funding for that they do, then I would gladly ask them to come and talk a little bit about what is it that they're doing, those initiatives, either pedestrian safety, drug education, the programs that we are, there, what they do in the schools, they have different things going on that are community oriented that I could do. That's an easy way of coming up. For the rest, so we have to put some parameters and see what it is that we're looking for.
Sure, and I appreciate those examples. I think what efforts are being made to address the drug crisis and issues of pedestrian and traffic safety. Those are certainly things that have come up in public comment numerous times and would be appropriate now to have an update on. Most recently, the concern that was raised, not just by myself, but several other speakers at a couple council meetings ago, is the string of recent shootings, gun violence, and what is specifically being done to address that problem. And I have to take issue with your statement just now that you think sharing statistics is inappropriate, because I think that is important for people to know, the facts of what is going on in their community. I don't think that there's any reason that that is inappropriate to share with the public.
Let me just rephrase myself to say inappropriate. I think that is very difficult to come in, so I'm not saying that it's inappropriate. Public has a right to know, and that's why the police, the police department has
to do difficult things sometimes when they're necessary. I would say this is pretty necessary.
So they do have the police reports, there's a crime reports that they have to do, you get that from the state, to the website, there's other areas that they have. I think it's kind of challenging to have that, to come up and talk about that, right? We don't need those statistics to know what is going on in our city in terms of gun violence. Those specific incidents that you were talking about, we did address them here. Those are ongoing investigations. So, and they were targeted incidents, so it wasn't random. So, nonetheless, I do understand where you're coming from, but I just wanted to make sure that if I came up and say that it was inappropriate, that's not my intention. I just say that it's cumbersome to come here to give statistics, in some of those areas, right? But like I said, I'm open in terms of education and safety for our community. I'm open to have them come in every so often and give a report on what's going on, because they do a lot. Actually, it would be a benefit of, for people to know, because they do a lot, and sometimes as a community we forget of what they do in our community, because it's easier to point out the negative other than the good things that they're doing. So I'm open to that. Okay.
Sure, and I certainly, agree that there's probably quite a lot that's going on behind the scenes that people could benefit to know about that they might not be aware of. But I do really have to take issue with your statement that we don't need statistics to know what's going on. I hope you'll give me a minute to finish this one sentence. Okay. To say that we don't need statistics to know what's going on in our own communities, unfortunately, because there aren't generally not public alerts sent out about the violence that happens, about shootings that happen, murders that happen, despite repeated requests to use the Nixle alert system to alert the public to those public safety issues, a lot of people do need statistics to know what's going on in their community because they would not have any other way of knowing. In fact, one of the speakers who came to the council meeting last month to address this exact issue said there was a shooting that happened in her neighborhood around the same time that she walks her dogs in the evening, and she would have no way of knowing about that if not for reporting that was put out by journalists, not by the city, not for public safety, public information purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wishes to address the council? Yes.
I'm sorry if I may. I think the public will be very happy to know that our department heads, myself being one of them, are always at these council meetings, and we're always glad to answer questions. We get here early, we stay till the end. I know that we're also very pleased to answer any council questions, and so that's our job. We're glad to do.
Absolutely. Seeing none, we get to take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Castaneda. Councilmember Ferguson. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Councilmember